I think this is an absolutely adorable package, a great little way to give a gift, and it's super easy to do. Hey, I'm Julie Faye Van Valzer, and I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful flower decoration. So the first thing is we need the flower file. I'm here in ScanNCut Canvas. I'm going to choose My Projects, and you'll see that under My Projects I have saved this rolled flower design. Now don't worry, this file is available to you. I'm going to go ahead and download it and choose ScanNCut Transfer and transfer it on over. So once that wireless transfer is complete, I'm going to go ahead over to the screen, and from the home screen I'm going to choose Pattern, the wireless transfer button, and of course if you didn't have a wireless connection you could of course bring it in by a USB. So here's my file. I know that it's going to fit because I have a full sheet of paper, so I'm simply saying OK, and I'm just going to check my settings. So I want to make sure that the cut pressure is at a 0. The speed can actually be up at a 3, and then I want my blade to be at a 6. Now of course these are the settings that work for me on my machine, but you should do a test cut to make sure that they're going to work for you. And once I'm ready, I'm simply going to hit cut and start. So now that it's done cutting, I'm going to go ahead and unload it, pull away the excess paper, and then grab my spatula and get this flower off the mat. And now, here is a great trick. We're going to roll this paper, and cardstock like this or heavy scrapbook paper rolls a little bit better if you just spritz it with some water. It's just a light spritz. I'm not soaking it or anything like that. I'm just sort of softening the paper a little bit, and you can rub that water in if you want. Then starting from the outside edge, so not the inside, but the outside, we're going to start the roll. Now the side that you want to show as the flower, this is counterintuitive, should be the inside of the roll. So the side that is going to show for me is the pattern side, not actually this yellow side. So if you're using a two-sided paper, you'll only see the yellow a tiny bit on the edge. I'm not even being too careful here. I'm just basically trying to get the paper to start moving, to start creasing, to start just relaxing a little bit into a curl. So I continue to just roll it around, roll it around. You can see how it rolls right around that curve, and then I get to this big dot. And this dot, if I curve it in my hand a little bit, remember we've sprayed this paper so it's nice and soft, is basically meant to catch the flower. So that was my first roll, just sort of getting it set up. I'm actually now going to unroll this, and I want to do a really loose roll because that's what makes the flower look the best in my opinion. So that first roll was just to get the paper rolling, and now this roll is sort of the more finished. But what I'm doing is I'm leaving a gap, and I'm making it super duper loose and easy. I want this to be a big fat wide flower, so I'm purposely leaving lots of space, not thinking about it being too tight. Can you see how much space is between all those layers? We're just rolling, rolling, rolling. And we'll get back to that center, which is creased, and now you can see that I've relaxed it. It fits a lot better on there. And just cupping the wet or damp paper in my hand, I'm now actually going to take the stylus tool, find the center, okay? Then I'm going to use my fingers, and all I'm doing now is pushing the petals out. I'm kind of, the technical word I believe is mashing. So I'm just kind of splaying or mashing them out, and you can see how it's creating that flower. Now for a little bit of extra flair, while the paper is still wet, I think it's a good idea to use your stylus just to roll those petals a little bit. And you can decide how much or how little you want to do that. I think the flower just has a nicer, fancier kind of look. You can see here if you just roll all those. So I'm going to take a minute just to go ahead and do that. So here's the cool thing. Because the paper was damp, I can now actually let go of this, and as it dries, it's holding its shape. But we want to permanently get it to hold its shape a little bit. So I am using this as a low heat glue gun because, you know, glue guns, well, I've burned myself more than once, shall we say. So you want to be careful. I'm going to flood this round base with some glue if my glue gun wants to cooperate and have any glue come out. There you go. So you can see I've just got a big pile of glue sitting right in that little base, and I'm just going to simply, again, technical term here, mush down all these layers into it. And you can see that on my table I'm using some fabric and some batting just to make sure I have a heat resistant surface, always keeping safety in mind. So I'm going to let that set up for a minute. And while it's setting, I'm going to go ahead and grab some really thin wire. Now this is 28 gauge wire, so it is super thin. It's so thin, in fact, that you can cut it with scissors. You don't even need wire snips or anything like that. And then I have two different colors of beads. I have some tiny little red seed beads, and I have some silver colored beads that are like flower shaped. And simply using the wire almost as a needle, I'm going to go ahead and pick up a bead. And then this is very easy to do because this wire is so soft. I simply fold it and twist. And now we're creating the stamen and the pistils that are inside the flower. I think this is something that creates an extra little nice thing. So I have these tails, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add on another one, and then I just fold that much in half, and you'll see how these are going to start to be all connected. And you don't have to be particularly technical about this, like how much twisting should you do until you feel like you're done twisting, I think is the answer. And now you can see you have two of them. They're nice different heights. So we're going to add a third one on to the end, and we're going to just repeat this process again and again until we have them all together. So once I have one silver one done, I'm going to go ahead and grab some more wire, and I'm going to do the same thing with the red beads with one small difference. And the small difference is, instead of picking up a single bead, I'm going to try to pick up 3, 4, 5, just a couple of red beads in each of these little bunches. So once I have a couple on there, I'll come in and then I'll do the twist. And you can keep twisting to make it tighter and tighter so that you get that nice little bunch there. So let me just finish this off. So now I have my red and my silver, and I'm simply going to bend them so that all of the little bits are facing, generally speaking, in the same direction up. You can see that right there. And then we're going to grab the flower and we're going to drop a mass of hot glue right in the center, just a big old pile of hot glue. And then that is going to hold these wires in there like so. And once they're in there, you can now manipulate and move them and arrange them like so. Pretty easy to see. So to finish off our gift box, you can see I've just taken the box and wrapped it with some ribbon, and then onto the back of my paper flower I've put 2 dots of foam adhesive. Simply push it down in place, and there you go. You have a beautiful package that's ready to give. For more tips, tricks, and tutorials, please visit my website at balzerdesigns.typepad.com, and of course subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget about the ScanNCut website at ScanNCut.com.